Prelims. My name is Madhusudan Reddy, and I'll be taking up the subject of geography and environment, and we'll be discussing the key in a detailed manner. Or coming to the comments of the paper, see, geography is mostly conceptual in nature. ये काफी conceptual रहा है, and environment, it is more of biodiversity dominant paper है, and they went into species, they asked more about the species, their nature, their characteristics, their behavior. This is where most of the questions are there. And looking into the acts पे बहुत कम questions थे as compared to last year. So we'll deal with these questions one by one. Coming to the concepts of geography, see the first concept, the first paper question in geography and environment category, it is question number 21. Now it's a statement based question. In the statement based question, you will see that here, just a minute. Okay, look into the question number 21. See, consider the following statements. Just okay. Question number 21, it says that consider the following statements. Statement 1 says, India, despite having uranium deposits, depends on coal for most of its electricity production. देखिए, this statement is absolutely true. इसमें इंडिया के पास यूरेनियम डिपॉजिट्स है, but why don't we use uranium? Because most of the extraction of uranium and also using of uranium for the production of electricity, the enrichment cost is very, very high. That's why we do not go for that. So that we, as a nation, we have coal deposits more. So that's why we go for that coal deposits more. And statement 1 is correct. And statement 2, uranium enriched to an extent of at least 60% is required for the production of electricity. See, the statement is wrong because uranium enrichment, it is known that the uranium enrichment can be within 3 to 5% itself. The uranium enrichment is sufficient where to generate an electricity. So that's why here statement 1 is right and statement 2 is wrong. So the statement based question, which of the following is correct in respect of the above statements? See, statement 1 is correct, but the statement 2 is wrong. It is, the answer is statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is incorrect. So this is your C, right? Let's go to our next question in the category of geography and environment. Here, question number 22, set B. Consider the following statements. Okay, not this. This is the next question. Question number 22. Consider the following statements. Statement 1, marsupials are not naturally found in India. Yes, this statement is again true. Marsupials are not naturally found in India. These marsupials are naturally found in the Oceania region. They are also found in the Australia, New Zealand, South Africa also, they are naturally found, right? So one of the marsupialian category में कोई ऐसा animal example है? Yes, the best example is your kangaroo type, right? Now look here. Statement 2, marsupials can thrive only in montane grasslands with predators. This statement here, it is absolutely wrong. Statement 1 is right, क्योंकि marsupials, you go to South Africa में, they are found in the tropical forest. Now here the statement says that they are only found in, here this statement clearly says that they are only in montane grasslands. No, they are also found in tropical grasslands. This tropical forest also they are found. Where exactly they are found? They are found in South Africa, right? So answer for this question 22, it is your C. Again, statement 1 is right, statement 2 is wrong. C would be your right answer. Let's go to our next question in the category of geography and environment. यहाँ पे the question here says that invasive species specialist group that develops global invasive species database belongs to which of the following organizations? Here, this particular answer belongs to the IUCN. करंट अफेयर से है, सो फैक्ट बेस्ड क्वेश्चन है, तो आंसर हियर इज IUCN. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, गोइंग टू आवर नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, क्वेश्चन नंबर 24. कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग फॉना. दिस सेज दैट कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग फॉना: लायन टेल्ड macaque, Malabar civet, Sambar deer. How many of the above are generally nocturnal and most active after sunset. See, nocturnal animals means those animals which are mostly active after the sunset. ऐसे कुछ और भी animals होते हैं that is crepuscular in nature. What are these crepuscular species? Mostly active during night time period. Now, see, here lion-tailed macaque is not a night active species. It is mostly day active. It is diurnal species है. यहाँ पे Malabar civet जो है, Sambar deer जो है, they are nocturnal species. So statement 2 is option 2 is right. Option B is right. When you look into the how many of the above are generally nocturnal and most active after the sunset, here it is 1 is wrong, 2 is right, 3 is right. So only 2. That means B is the answer, right? Let's go to our next question. Next question in the category of geography and environment. Again, so it asked about which of the following perform waggle dance. What is waggle dance? Waggle dance matlab whenever a species dances in the form of 8, that is called as waggle dance. So this waggle dance for others of their kin to indicate the direction and the distance to a source of their food. See, this is a habit which is done by honeybees. Honeybees, what do? They do waggle dance. Waggle dance mein they move as if in the form of 8. 8 format mein if they are moving, so it is an indication that it's a waggle dance, right? So answer for the 25 is C. Let's go to question number 26 in the set B. Consider the following statements. Some mushrooms have medicinal properties. Yes, most of the mushrooms have medicinal properties. Hota hai. This statement is right. Some mushrooms have psychoactive properties. What are the psychoactive properties? Psychoactive properties matlab those which have impact on neuro. That is those which have the impact on brain. इसको psychoactive कहा जाता है. Yes, mushrooms do have. And some mushrooms have insecticidal properties. Yes, some of the mushrooms, that is entomopathogenic fungus. कुछ ऐसी fungus होता है. Some fungus, they do have insecticidal properties. And lastly, some mushrooms have bioluminescent properties. That means they can shine at the night. And here, all the 4 statements are right. So answer would be, how many of the above statements given are correct? Here, all 4 are right. Answer for this is D. The next question in the category of geography and environment, it is, consider the following statements regarding the Indian squirrel. ठीक है? They build nests by making burrows in the ground. This is first statement. And second statement, they store their food materials like nuts and seeds in the ground. They are omnivorous. See, here they asked about they build their nets by burrows in the ground. They do not make big burrows. They do not majorly, if you see, the palm squirrel is the major squirrel of India. Inka population काफी ज़्यादा है. Here it is clearly understood that they build nests by making burrows in the ground. They do not make nests in the ground. They generally make nests on the tree. So this statement is wrong. And they are clearly asking about Indian squirrel. What is Indian squirrel? It is palm squirrel. Palm squirrel को Indian squirrel कहा जाता है. This palm squirrel or Indian squirrel, if you look into, it is understood that they make nests on the tree, but not within the ground. But they store their food in the ground. This is there, right? So they store their food material like nuts and seeds in the ground. Yes. They do not make burrows and make nests, but they store their food in the ground. Next, they are omnivorous. Yes. They also eat the living. ठीक है? If you look into, palm squirrel eats fruits also. It eats nuts also. It also eats the eggs of the birds also. So it is omnivorous. Statement 1 is wrong. Statement 2 is right. Statement 3 is correct. Now, how many of the above statements are correct? It is only 2 statements are correct, right? Next. Question number, if you look into this set B, now in the category of geography and environment, the next question, consider the following statements. Some microorganisms can grow in environments with temperature above the boiling point of the water. Yes, there are microorganisms which can grow above the boiling point of the water, there are thermobacteria. There are also cyanobacteria which can survive at 160 degrees Celsius also. वैसे there are also bacteria which can survive below the freezing point as well. So here hypothermophiles. Hypothermophiles means these are hypothermophiles. Yes, there are these kind of bacteria is also present. And if you look into extremophiles, these extremophiles are also present. That means those bacteria which can be grown below the freezing point, which can be grown above the boiling point, they are either hypothermophiles or extremothermophiles or extremophiles. And any bacteria which can grow greater than the pH acidic component, if they can grow, they are called as acidophiles. So this acidophiles bacteria can also be there. This is correct. All the three statements are correct here. Answer is all three. Okay? All the three statements are absolutely right. Now coming to the next question. Next question is, which of the following makes a tool with a stick to scrape insects from a hole in a tree or a log of wood? Oh, very interesting question here. So these kind of habitats are generally human habitats. If you do not get something, what do? You take a stick and you loop around and you try to take it around. So this is a habit which is generally adapted by orangutan. See, orangutan is a species. This species, what does it do is, if it wants to extract the insects from the tree, if there is a small hole in the tree, if it wants to extract, it makes a stick, and using that stick, it loops around and extract that insects. And most of the times, there are species that are stinky to this particular orangutan. So what does this animal do? It takes the stick and then it loops out and takes that food, right? And it has a feast over it. So overall, the answer here is orangutan. That is, B is the answer. Next question. Consider the following aerosols, foam agents, and fire retardants, lubricants. Four statements दिया हुआ. In the making of, how many of the above are hydrofluorocarbons? CHFC. Hydrofluorocarbons, you know the harmful nature of the hydrofluorocarbons. इसमें aerosols के अंदर भी HFC होता है. Foam agents, fire retardants, lubricants, yes, all of them have hydrofluorocarbons, and these hydrofluorocarbons are very dangerous as compared to the any other greenhouse gas potential अगर देखा गया, right? So broadly, answer is all four. ठीक है? D is the answer. Next question. Geography point of view से, consider the following statements. Jhelum river passes through the Vular lake. ये statement right है. At the start of the Vular lake itself, you will find that this Jhelum river है. So statement 1 is right, and statement 2, it says that Krishna river directly feeds Kolleru lake. See, Krishna river, imagine this is your Krishna river. Krishna river has couple of streams. ठीक है? This couple of streams, they directly lead to the Kolleru lake, right? So this Kolleru lake, it is on the lines of this Krishna river, and between Godavari river and Krishna river की बीच में होता है this lake. So this lake, it says that Krishna river directly feeds, yes, streams of the Krishna river are feeding. Now what are these streams? These are couple of streams. It is Budameru and Tamileru. See, Tamileru. ये Budameru and Tamileru दो ऐसी streams है which are the streams of Krishna river. They are directly feeding the Kolleru. Question here says that Krishna river directly feeding the Kolleru lake. Yes. In geography, when you consider streams of a river are considered to be the direct entities of the river. So in these considerations, you can consider this statement to be right. Statement 1 is right, statement 2 is right. Meandering of Gandak river formed Kanwar lake. Yes. See, this meandering of Gandak river, if you see, formed Kanwar lake. ये जो Kanwar lake है, it is formed because of the meandering of the Gandak river itself. Along with Gandak river, you will identify that Biyakare and Begusarai. These are the places which are next to these Kanewar lake. ठीक है? So all the three statements are right here. Answer is all three. Next question. Question number 32. The 32nd question says that Kamaraja Port, it is the first major port in India registered as a company. Yes. See, this is the 12th major port. ये 12th major port है. It is considered to be the first major port which is registered as a company. ठीक है? So ports can be registered as a company also. It can be registered as a trust also. So this is one such company जो 12th major port है जो it has been registered as a company. Next, Mundra Port. See, where is Mundra Port? It is in the Kutch region, Gujarat. ठीक है? Largest privately owned port in India. Yes, this statement is also absolutely right. Ye statement is also right. Next, Visakhapatnam Port, largest container in India. The largest container in India is not Visakhapatnam Port, it is JNPT. Right? So statement 1 is right, statement 2 is right, and statement 3 match is wrong. So answer here is, how many of the above pairs are correctly matched? In this correctly matched are 2 pairs, only 2 pairs. Answer is B. Right? Next, consider the following trees: jackfruit, mahua, and teak tree. See, this very interesting question. It says that consider the following trees. In these trees, jackfruit, it says that how many of the above are deciduous in nature. Now in this deciduous in nature, jackfruit, agar this tree, if you look into, they are grown in, this is not a deciduous tree, it is an evergreen tree. Okay? It is not part of the deciduous trees, it is an evergreen tree. Mahua, yes, Mahua plantation, very famously known in the northern parts and the western parts of India. Okay? And it is also used for making the local liquor, agar aap jante ho to. Okay? Red color plantation it is. Last one is teak. These two are deciduous in nature. ये दोनों deciduous trees हैं. So broadly, how many of the above are deciduous trees? Only 2. Yes, दो ऐसे deciduous trees हैं. Right? So answer here is B. Let's go to our next question. Our next question is 33, and then geography environment category में, if you look into the question that falls into the geography environment is question number 35. Yes. Here, which of the following is the best example of repeated falls in sea level giving rise to the present day extensive marshlands? Now, see here, Bittarkanika mangroves, Marakkam salt pans, Naupada swamp, and last one is Run of Kutch. The answer here is Run of Kutch. Why is this Run of Kutch? It is considered to be the repeated falls in the sea level. If you look into the India map, broadly speaking, isme you see most of the western part of the India, this western part of India, and also the Rajasthan region, this was once under the water for many millions of years. Okay, ye sare region, inundation of water was there. That means this part of the region was under the sea. Right? Because of the change in the sea level today, you got to learn. Maybe you might have heard about the places called Dwaraka and Lord Krishna ka logic. Okay? Many times I have also discussed in the class that these are the regions which are submerged in nature, continuous changing in the sea levels. Sea level aur kahan change hua? If you look into on the eastern side also, at the Bangladesh and Bengal region, here also there is large scale changes in the sea level. So Run of Kutch jo hai, which falls in this region, it is the right answer. Right? We have discussed this many a times into the classroom regarding the explanation of the formation of a deserts. ठीक है? Answer here is Run of Kutch. Next question which falls into the geography and environment category is question number 43 of set B. Let's see this question. Consider the following statements. It's a statement based question. Statement 1 and statement 2, it is regarding the carbon markets. Carbon markets mein you will see that consider the following statements. Statement 1 says that carbon market are likely to be one of the most widespread tools in the fight against the climate change. Yes, आपको ये पता है, you know that these carbon markets, joint implementation या clean development mechanism, these are the methods by which we trade into the carbons, right? Carbon marketing. Mostly, what is the aim of this? The aim of this is to get investment into the area jahan par to deal with the climate change, right? Now, statement 1, if you look into, there is nothing wrong with this statement 1. Statement 1 sahi hai. Now, carbon market transfers resources from the private sector to the state. See, resources are being transferred from private sector to the state. Is this statement right? Yes, this statement is absolutely right. Again, both the statement 1 and 2, it is right. But is this the right explanation? This has nothing to do with the explanation part. ये statement भी सही है, ये statement भी सही है, but लेकिन explanation if you see, this is not the explanation. The right explanation would be something that carbon markets are meant to trade into the carbon trading with respect to environment. Environment may we use joint implementation, we use clean development mechanisms. In this joint implementation and clean development mechanisms, what is the major agenda? The major agenda is to get investment to deal with the climate change, right? So that they put their restrictions on emissions. It's not about the explanation, right explanation is not the carbon market transfers resources from the private sector to the state. It is both the statements are right, but this doesn't seem to be a right explanation. The answer would be B. Okay, this would be the B, right? Next question which falls into the category of environment and geography, it is question number 57, right? Question number 57, set B, which talks about the mapping. Let me show you. Okay, here is your question. Now this is a mapping based question and this is world geography ke andar we can consider this. The question says that consider the following pairs in this area of conflict mentioned in news and we have to match that with the country where it is located. Now most of you know that Donbass ye jo region hai, this region, it is part of Syria, it is part of the Russia region and also it is in the conflict of Crimea and Ukraine. See, Ukraine and Russia ki context mein you will get to learn about this particular place, right? So here the answer would be this is not correct. Next, Kachin, where is it? Is it matched with Ethiopia? Again, this is wrong because Kachin, it is in Myanmar, right? And the third one is Tigray, it is in Ethiopia. So all the three statements are incorrect. So why are they in news? One was in news because of the Russia-Ukraine war ki under context. And if you look into the Kachin, that is Myanmar, recently, if you look into the issues with respect to the Myanmar, even the map that is associated with the cyclonic map recently which is released, here Kachin is a famous area that was also in current affairs for that reason. And last one is Tigray, that is your Ethiopia. The next question that we have to deal in the context of geography and environment would be your if this is your set B mein question number 71. So international relations category mein also you can categorize this, and here you need to look into that mapping based question hai. Ye mapping based question mein, look here, it says that consider the following countries. In these countries, Bulgaria, Czech Republic, Hungary, Latvia, Lithuania, Romania. How many of the above mentioned countries share a land border with Ukraine? See, the land border with Ukraine is shared by Hungary and Romania itself. It is, one is Hungary and Romania. Only two countries share the land boundary, rest of the countries do not share. It's a mapping based question, clear factual content hai. So those who have practiced in our mapping sessions, we have done this in a very extensive manner. The answer is A. The next question is, with reference to the Earth's atmosphere, which of the following statements is right? Now, very conceptual question, climatology based question hai. See here, with reference to the Earth's atmosphere, which of the following statements is correct? Now, let's look into the explanation part here. 4 statements. The statement 1 says that the total amount of the insolation received at the equator is roughly at about 10 times that is received at the poles. Now, see here, the answer would be at the poles, you receive near about 50 joules of energy, and at the equator you receive near about 275 joules of energy. Okay? So broadly, this is the incoming solar radiation from the sun. the total amount of the insolation received at the equator is roughly 10 times that of the received that at the poles. 10 times would be somewhere around 500. It is not 10 times, it is around 5 to 6 times. So it is wrong statement, and most of the times you know that UPSC plays with the numbers. If it is number oriented, you know the drill. You should be considering inclining towards the wrong statement. Now, second statement, infrared rays constitute roughly 2/3 of the insolation. See, infrared rays jo hai na, which are coming from the sun, that is in our incoming solar radiations mein, infrared radiations ka role, it is near about 49% is your infrared. Okay, now where do you get to this, learn all of this? NCERT mein to diya nahi hai. Yes, these are questions which are above conceptual. Mostly optional mein we study this. Geography optional people might have done with ease and cakewalk these kind of questions. This statement is also wrong. It is saying 2/3. 2/3 means very less, right? Now this is 49, near about 50%. Now there are two statements, very confusing statements for most of the students. But see, infrared waves are largely absorbed by water vapor that is concentrated in the lower atmosphere. Yes, देखिए, most of the water vapor, if you look into, it is concentrated in only up to 3 to 5 kilometers range के आसपास. In the upper atmosphere, the concentration of water vapor is less. And also, you need to know that as you move away from the equator, if you're moving away from the equator, the water vapor concentration will also reduce. Now, broadly speaking, it says that infrared waves are largely absorbed. Our infrared rays are largely absorbed by water vapor that is concentrated in the lower atmosphere. Yes. Most of the absorption of the heat is done by greenhouse gases, and water vapor is one of the greenhouse gases, and it is this gas which is attracting large amounts of heat from the ground radiation, right? So this statement is right, and coming to the infrared waves are part of the visible spectrum of electromagnetic waves of solar radiation. See, now many students might have been confused about these two statements. Yeah, ye sahi hoga, ya ye sahi hoga. Dekhiye, this statement is wrong, because naked eye say mostly human beings cannot see the infrared radiation. What you can do is you can feel the radiation, right? So is it part of the visible spectrometer? Now infrared rays is part of the electromagnetic waves, but is it part of the visible spectrometer? The answer is no. Only with your optical telescope you can see that infrared rays, right? So this statement is wrong. As per our understanding, this option C is the right answer, right? Now let's go to our next question. Our next question is, it's regarding the soils. Consider the following statements. The soil in the tropical rainforest is rich in nutrients. Now statement 1, it is wrong yaar. Kyunki tropical rainforest mein na, the soil is not rich with the nutrients, because in the tropical rainforest there is large amounts of rainfall, and also the leaves that are littering onto the ground, they do not let the nutrients stay there. They simply leach off, wash off. So tropical rainforest, and also if you look into the equatorial forest also, equatorial forest में भी काफी ज़्यादा बारिश होता है. So this statement is wrong. मतलब they are, forest is rich in nutrients. No, this is not rich in nutrients. It is having a infertile soil. Now statement 2, the high temperature and moisture of the tropical rainforests are dead. Sorry, the high temperature and moisture of the tropical rainforest cause dead organic matter in the soil decompose quickly. See, now this is a question that how is it interpreted, or how should one interpret this? Now, in my opinion, if you look into, I would be marking this as D, and the right answer is D. Why, you know? Look at the statement here. In high temperatures and moisture of tropical rainforest, high temperature and moisture of the tropical rainforest cause dead organic matter in the soils to decompose quickly. Yes. See, this statement is right. Usually, in the context of high temperature and good moisture conditions, mein, decomposition rate is very fast. But if you put some conditions, only then you will get to see the changes. ठीक है, ये मान के चलो वहां पे टेम्परेचर भी है and it is also having good moisture content. In that conditions, decomposition will be there. Now you add too much of rainfall to it, leaching will happen. right? So look at the statement here. Now let me reread this statement. Look into the question. Consider the following statements. Now, high temperature and moisture of tropical rainforests. It is talking about tropical rainforest cause dead organic matter in the soil to decompose quickly. The conditions of decomposition of the dead organic matter is very quick, but at the same time they get leached away. Okay? All that is decomposed, it is not reaching into the soil, but decomposition zarur hota hai wahan par, but after that there would be leaching off. So these nutrients are not taken by the particular soil. Even the rate of growth of a plant is quite quick. इसीलिए जो भी nutrients है they are being absorbed and rest of the nutrients are washed away, but decomposition जरूर होता है. So here the answer would be D. Statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. Statement 2 में कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, statement 2 सही है. Let's go to our next question, that is, consider the following statements. Statement 1, the temperature contrast between continents and the oceans is greater during the summer than in winter. See, this is an interesting question again. Do we have greater temperatures? The temperature contrast between continents and the oceans is greater during the summer than in the winter? Yes, the statement is right. Next, the specific heat of the water is more than that of the land surface. Now, both the statements are right. Why? You see, for example, if I have two different components, ye maan ke chalo, I have a liquid and I also have a solid. Imagine this is a box full of liquid and I have a box full of solid. The particles in the solid are very tightly packed. Okay? Now if you start to heat, you give certain temperature to both of them. When you are giving temperature to both of them, obviously you will understand that here the water molecules can rotate here and there. So it takes time to heat. If you want to raise the temperature by 1 degree Celsius of water and the land, it is land's temperature which gets heated quickly and also it gets cooled quickly. Here this is the concept of specific heat. On the other side, the water gets heated slowly and also it cools slowly. Now broadly speaking, it is both the statements are right and statement 2 is the right explanation. Right? 74 answer is A. Right? Next, coming to the 75th question. Okay, very interesting question again. काफी आसान सा क्वेश्चन है, एनसीईआरटी से क्वेश्चन है ये. Let's look into the question here. Consider the following statements. It is regarding a seismograph. In a seismograph, P waves are recorded earlier than the S waves. Yes, P waves travel fast and S waves follow them, right? So statement 1 is right. And in P waves, the individual particle vibrate to and fro in the direction of the wave of the propagation. Whereas S waves, the particle vibrate up and down at the right angles to the direction of the propagation. See, this statement is also right. If you look into, imagine that there is a wave. For example, you imagine that you have this P wave. If it is traveling from A to B, it is quite clear that this particular wave, while it is traveling from A to B, it vibrates in the same motion. Okay? This is P wave. When it comes to S wave, if it is traveling from A to B, the particle motion in this is towards this. That means there is a 90-degree angle which it makes with the direction of the propagation of the wave. So P wave is considered to be parallel and S wave, it is considered to be perpendicular, right? So both the statements here, this is also right, this is also right. Now which of the statements given above are correct? If you look into here, both the statement 1 and statement 2 both are right. Next question. With reference to the coal-based thermal power plants in India, consider the following statements. See here, none of them use seawater. No. You have a thermal power plant in Gujarat by the name Gujarat Coastal Power Limited. Gujarat Coastal Power Limited. It uses coastal water, that is sea water for the utilization of the power. So this statement, it is none of them uses sea water. No, they use sea water. which of them is set up in water stressed areas? देखिए 40% of the total thermal power plants are set up in the water stressed areas, right? It says none of them. This statement is also wrong. And coming to the third one, none of them is privately owned. See, if you look into the Angul power plant, it is privately owned. So all the three statements are galat. ठीक है? So see here, answer is D. Next question, that is again an environmental related question. Wolbachia method is sometimes talked about with reference to which of the following? Controlling the viral diseases spread by the mosquito? Yes. देखिए, it is used for controlling the viral disease spread by the mosquito. Now Wolbachia, what do they do is, it is a bacteria. Now this bacteria, it is present in most of the insect. Now this bacteria is taken and it is now injected into the mosquito. Suppose this is a mosquito, and this mosquito, it is being injected. When it mates with the other mosquito, the female mosquitoes, they won't be in a position to reproduce their eggs. Eggs will be laid, but that eggs will not turn into a new mosquito. In simple terms, agar layman terms mein bataya gaya, right? So this is nothing but your Wolbachia. It is Wolbachia is used for the controlling the viral diseases spread by the mosquito, right? Next question here. Consider the following activities: spreading finely ground basalt rock on farmlands extensively, increasing the alkalinity of oceans by adding time, capturing carbon dioxide released by various industries and pumping it into abandoned subterranean mines in the form of carbonated waters. देखिए, ये तीनों we have discussed in the classroom current affairs also last time, that all the three statements here are right with respect to how many of the above activities are often considered as discussed for carbon capture. ये तीनों methods, they are used for the carbon capturing method. ठीक है? All the three are right statements. Now let me look into this explanation. Spreading finely ground basaltic rock on farmlands extensively. See, basaltic rocks are one of the finest rocks which are meant to trap the carbon. Ocean के नीचे कौन सा ऐसा landmass है और कौन सा ऐसा rocks है? Ocean के नीचे, it is quite evidently seen that they are basaltic in nature, and largest carbon concentration or carbon sequestration, it is present under the ocean. If you can imagine in that form also, you would be able to link up to mark this as right. Right? So statement 1 is right. Increasing the alkalinity of the ocean by adding lime. Yes, when you increase the alkalinity of the ocean, you will obviously reduce the potential of generating carbon dioxide, and rather the carbon dioxide will be sinked in, and that is called carbon sequestration, right? And third one, it is quite evidently seen in the news articles in the recent times. All the three statements are right. So this is your right. Clear? Next question that we need to look into is our question number 99. Okay. The last question of geography and environmental related category mein hai. In this question, see, consider the following statements. In India, the Biodiversity Management Committee are key to realization of objectives of the Nagoya Protocol. So this statement, if you look into, ये भी सही है, right? Biodiversity Management Committee को Nagoya Protocol के through you are realization methods of objectives. We have taken that objectives, और ये Nagoya Protocol, it is in context with the Biodiversity Management Committee. ये सही है, इसमें कोई गड़बड़ नहीं है. Current affairs statement. Again, statement 2. The Biodiversity Management Committee has important functions, right? It says that Biodiversity Management Committee have important functions in determining access and benefit sharing, including the power to levy collection fees and on the access of biological resources within its jurisdiction. Yes, see, it is this committee which also has the power to levy fines. It also has the power to levy the taxes also. See, टैक्सेस लेविंग अथॉरिटी खाली कुछ ही कमिटीज को होता है. इनमें से एक ऐसे कमिटी है विच ऑल्सो हैज द पावर टू levy the taxes, and it also has the power to collection of the fee also can also be done. So this statement is also right. So both the statements are correct. Now that's it for geography and environmental related questions. There are near about more than 25 odd questions as usual. Last year भी weightage ज़्यादा था, इस साल भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा weightage है. And in my opinion, if you look into these questions, they are conceptual and mostly environmental related questions. Last year they were mostly on the basis of acts and policies, but lekin is saal if you look into, they are inclined towards the biodiversity's weightage is very, very high, right? As usual, they concentrated more on the species, less onto the acts. And geography, it is full of conceptual. Climatology का weightage देखो काफी ज़्यादा है. Geomorphology से एक question है, P waves and S waves की question. There's no question from plate tectonics, sea floor spreading, or other hot topics which you spend most of your time learning about geography. So climatology ka weightage, again, it has been seen that increasing weightage tha, right? So overall, in my category, I would be considering this as a paper where conceptual clarity jisko hai, unhe acha number milega. And also, those people who have learned their biodiversity, this is an advantage. And those students who have geography as an optional, they might have done really well in the concepts of geography and environmental. Okay? And please let me know how much you are scoring, and you can comment down your scores so that everyone can compare with each other. And agar without wasting any time, it is high time you have to start your preparation. If your scoring is near about 50% आसपास, Cutoffs last year की तरह ही रहेगा. Unexpected paper है. Students are talking about CSAT again. CSAT was also in the same lines as compared to the last year. So overall, what you have to do is you have to start preparing for your mains without wasting much of your time. Take a good break, maybe 1 day, 3 days की break ले लो, फिर वापस आ जाओ, start writing answers, segregating your paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4. Give dedicated time and start your preparation as quickly as possible. Thank you guys. इसमें कोई भी doubts है, और you can also drop a message on this number. ठीक है? And my name is Madhusudan Reddy. You can drop your doubts on this. I'd be happy to deal with this. Thank you guys, and see you in the next session where our faculties will be discussing the next subject. Thank you and see you.